Keith Springer here on Facebook, our financial analyst. All right, let's talk about the markets. Where did we open? What are we set to do today?
Well, the big number today was the unemployment number. That's what's moving the markets. That's really what everybody's focusing on Wall Street. That's where your money is focusing right now. Unemployment was a little bit better than expected. We dropped the unemployment rate down to 7.8%.
So is that why we're seeing a jump at the beginning of the day?
We do. We're up $40. We were up about 50, 55 a little bit earlier. The futures were up nicely. Unemployment means more people are going back to work. I wanted to check, as I mentioned last segment, that these figures weren't more people dropping out of the workforce, and the more work I did, I realized that there are gains in employment, so it's definitely a positive for the economy.
Okay, and that means in turn a positive for President Barack Obama. Then,
it is.
Right?
It's a positive for him as well. Now the numbers aren't big enough. Remember, we have 150,000 just to break even every month of new people entering the workforce. So really the break even number is 150,000. So anything below that, we're not even covering the new people, never mind the millions of people who are unemployed. So the key is we've got to make up for all the new people coming in. That's really what's going to knock down getting this economy back on track. But it's definitely a step in the right direction, helping the markets. Remember, we've got a Goldilocks economy here. I wrote about this in my newsletter, my Smart Money newsletter, whereas we don't want an economy that's going too fast where the Fed doesn't keep stimulating because this market is addicted to stimulus. But we don't want it to grow too slowly where people are unemployed and we go into a deep recession or a depression. So it's kind of a Goldilocks economy at the moment.
We'll switch gears real fast. Gas prices real briefly going up before the weekend. That's not good.
No, it's never good for any of us. We all eat and we all drive, even though they don't want to say there's any inflation in our economy. What we have gas prices is in California, we've got a different blend of gasoline, and we have our own name for it called CARBOB. It has more additives for the environment. So what happens when we have a slowdown in the refineries and it just basically doesn't get to the pumps, we have a massive increase in prices. We have rationing going on. So the rest of the country isn't feeling it, unfortunately, but we here in California, we are going to feel it a little bit more than everybody else, and don't drive so far if you don't have to.
We saw it $4.49 for a gallon of unleaded. That's what Elisa Becerra is covering this morning, and that's going to be our viewer's voice question. We'll check in on whether or not your weekend plans are going to be affected by this rising cost of gas prices in the 7 o'clock hour. But if you do have a question for Keith Springer, you can send it to money@fox40.com. And by the way, his newsletter that he mentioned, that's available also. You can get that at keithspringer.com, and you can just call him up. You see the number there, 916-9